further information.
For police, it was a matter of when, not if.
Today, Mr. McArthur was brought back before the courts. He was charged with first-degree murder in relation to Mr. Fazey. Bruce McArthur is now charged with and alleged to have committed 7 murders.
Abdul Basir Fazey vanished in 2010. He is among the first men connected to Toronto's gay village who disappeared. A police task force then found no evidence of murder. It would take 7 years to find it. Fazey was last seen in the village. According to divorce papers filed by his wife, he was living a double life. Both she and police at the time assumed he did not want to be found. Police now say Fazey knew McArthur. His car was found abandoned, as it turns out, just a few blocks from where his dismembered remains would be found. The home where McArthur stored his landscaping tools, where police found the body parts of at least 7 people in planters. After weeks of forensic analysis, Fazey's remains, as well as the remains of 2 other victims, have finally been identified.
I can now add that the pathologists have identified the remains of Salim Essen, Dean Lisowick, and Abdul Basir Fazey.
Police say Dean Lisowick, a sex worker, was killed in April 2016. Salim Essen, who had recently moved to Toronto from Turkey, was killed a year later.
And this is what Salim painted.
Richard Keycott met Essen at an addiction support group. He's glad to have this painting of his. He remembers him as a gentle soul. It makes the horror of his death that much harder.
That was like sort of where I went to in my head, was just like worrying about what may have happened to him while he was still aware of what was going on.
There is still a set of remains from those planters with no name. They may belong to Majid Kayhan, who McArthur is charged with murdering, or they may belong to the dead man in this photo, who police believe is another victim. Today, they released an enhanced version. They're down to 22 possible leads and want more.
I'd like to put a name to him before we do lay a charge. I'd be able to get a time frame.
And Joanna joins me now for more on today's revelation. So, Joanna, 75 properties altogether. Police say they'll get to them early next month. Where are they now?
Where are they still is the point. They are still at McArthur's apartment. They've been there for more than 2 months, and they expect to be there for at least 2 more weeks. That's a long time. And the lead detective of the investigation says he's never seen anything like it.
I think it's easily set the record for a forensic examination of an apartment. They're literally going through that apartment inch by inch by inch. Floors, ceilings, walls, furniture, inside furniture, dresser drawers, literally inch by inch.
And to spend so long at one scene, I mean, are they finding anything?
Well, they're not getting into the specifics, but they have said before that they believe some of McArthur's victims were killed in that apartment, and they say they already have several exhibits that they plan to present as evidence in court.
Okay, Joanna, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Now, the lead investigator also revealed today police are looking into the possibility McArthur could be linked to 15 cold cases from 1975 to 1997. And some of them are cases the CBC has been digging into as well.
The CBC broadcast a story last week detailing, I believe, 7 different cases from the 70s. We're aware of those, and we're looking at those.
As reported by the Fifth Estate last week, in the 1970s, there was a string of vicious, unsolved homicides of gay men in Toronto.
Harold Walkley had been stabbed several times, but no weapon has ever been found. James Kennedy, last seen at the bar September 19th. Brian Lataki was last seen at the same bar.
Old news that today seems eerily familiar.
This 13th murder involving a homosexual in the past 3 years. So far, no arrests have been made.
At the time, a young Bruce McArthur worked at a warehouse in downtown Toronto, not far from what was called back then the Gay Strip.